postcard for you today. We're on the island of Guernsey on the Channel Islands, and we're at Rousse Tower in the parish of Vale. Evan, before we reveal all as to why we're here against this building, should we just look at the background of Guernsey a little bit? Because the reason this building was built, ironically, was protection against France, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely so.
And yet, when you think of Guernsey, it came as an inheritance from the Normans to England at that time.
Yes, it did, because in 1066 we were part of the Duchy of Normandy, and there were possibly Guernsey and Jerseymen in the fleet that actually landed at the Battle of Hastings. And from that time on, of course, William took the crown of England, and he took the insignia of Normandy with him. So I think even to this day, the pennant of the Queen, or the flag of the Queen, carries the dukedom of Normandy still on it. But in 1215, Normandy returned back to mainland France, but the Channel Islands decided to stay loyal to that part of the British crown which was originally Normandy. And so we then became part of Great Britain.
It's strange then that giving the position of these islands so close to France, it really would have been in their best interest to have gone back to France, wouldn't it?
I think it
would have been a lot less hassle.
Yes, a great deal less hassle.
So we get to this point when the whole of Europe is overrun by Napoleon.
Yes.
And we are well versed on postcards with Martello Towers.
Right.
But let's find out about this building, because that's what it's not. It's not a Martello Tower, is it?
No, it's not. They were built in between 1778 and 1779, pre-Martello Towers. Martello Towers, we have three here, were about 1804. Now, these are called loophole towers because of the loopholes that can be seen in them, from which they could fire muskets. But they weren't built because of Napoleon. They were built because of the American War of Independence.
Really?
Yes.
Now there's something we like to hear.
Absolutely so.
Something new, a little bit of
Absolutely
learning, yes.
You see, on the American War of Independence, the French decided to go with the settlers and against Britain in their War of Independence. And so once again, we came under threat from the French because of the American War of Independence.
Now that's a new one. There's not many people, including me, and I love history,
sure.
And I never realised, therefore, that the American War of Independence actually carried right across
a long
the
way away.
Atlantic.
That's right.
Because obviously the French had their own vested interests in North America.
Very much so. And we were so close to them that to gain a little piece of Britain again, rather like Hitler did many, many years later,
yes,
was for the same reason. And so we're under threat, and thus these towers were built, 15 of them altogether, of which there are still 12.
And weren't they ever under attack from the French then?
No, not at all. No. No, never.
So they did their job, a deterrent?
Well, that's right. I suppose one might say that the French did land in Jersey, and they never landed in Guernsey, and local historians might say that's because we were better defended than those in Jersey.
Because you had all of these loopholes?
Absolutely so. They have some loopholes as well, but they're slightly different from ours.
So what would it have been defended with? I can see lots of guns around me.
These guns are a little later. The guns around us are 1804 again. But when the towers were built, and the 15 were built in 7 months, between 1778 and 9, built of Guernsey granite and some brick. They would have had a captain in charge and a sergeant, and they would have been regular British soldiers from the garrison. But the 20 men who manned them and a couple of batteries around them would have been all local militia. And not only local militia Guernsey, but local militia from this little part of Guernsey, from the Vale militia.
Oh, the parish of Vale.
Yes, indeed, very much so.
Right.
And there would have been 20 of them manning this with the gun position, but originally they would have just had muskets inside and a carronade on top of the tower, which could fire canister and all sorts of rubbish at the enemy attacking. But eventually then, of course, in 1804, which is a few years later, they brought in the bigger guns, the 24-pounders and the 9-pounders, which are around us now. The 24-pounder could fire 2 miles, an iron shot 2 miles, which is a long way.